I'd like to call to order the City Council meeting for October 16th. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the roll.
Legansky.
Here.
Shower.
Here.
Kenny.
Here.
Belzak.
Here.
Gustafson.
Here.
Stompanato.
Here.
Sullivan.
Here.
7 present.
We have a quorum. That takes us to questions, comments, and announcements of a general nature. This is something we inserted in our agenda a number of years ago. It gives residents an opportunity to address the City Council on any issue, not necessarily on our agenda. Does anybody have anything they'd like to present to the City Council? Mrs. Mallers, come forward.
Thank you. This is just quick. We met Dan Gombeck on our way in tonight, and there were 2 things I wanted to recognize. One, that you were proud enough to wear a pink tie in honor of breast cancer survivors, and also how beautiful the city looks with the display at the water tower. So thank you, City of Darien, and Dan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else? If not, we have approval of our minutes. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Kennedy, seconded by Alderman Stompanato. Any questions or comments regarding the minutes of October 2nd? If none, the roll.
Kenny.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Shower.
Abstain.
Legansky.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Belzak.
Abstain.
I have 5 ayes and 2 abstentions.
The minutes have been approved. Takes us to receiving of communications. The Alderman have any communications they want to share with the council? Alderman Gustafson.
I've been getting numerous comments from residents regarding the proposed duplex development on 87th Street and the Gerber development at the old CVS building.
Okay. Anyone else? Mary?
Thank you, Mayor. I did receive several emails and forwarded many of them to city staff for response from resident Andrew Kelly, who's in my ward, regarding the proposed development at the CVS site with Gerber Collision. And he just expressed concern and inquired about why something else wasn't going there. So I think most of his questions were answered, and I encouraged him to attend the Planning and Zoning and now upcoming Municipal Services meeting too for the presentation.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Alderman Kenny.
Just got a small one. One of the residents in Eric's ward had reached out to my wife, wanted to know that his traffic or his street light in front of his house was out. Ran it to staff, and apparently there's a kind of a backlog with parts and stuff on some of the street lights. So that's all I got.
Anything else?
Terrible backlog.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, if I could address 2 items. Number one is with Gerber, while it's tentatively scheduled for the Municipal Services meeting on the 23rd, we'll post that on the actual website if it's moving forward. Just so everybody knows, we have some conditions that were to be met to meet the agenda, and whether or not we're going to receive them by tomorrow will dictate whether or not it's on the agenda. So I just wanted to let everybody know, because there was a lot of concerns and a lot of residents, non-residents that were at the actual meeting. So that was first of all. In respect to the lights, there's concerns with our current street lights. We've been averaging about 10 outages a month within the last year. The problem is the circuit boards. The circuit boards are burning out faster than was anticipated. I want to let the city council know that the manufacturer, Leotech in this case, has been honoring the guarantee. We originally had a 7-year guarantee. We negotiated for a 10-year guarantee when we put these lights in 2016. So while that warranty is coming up shortly, the issue still becomes supply. It's the, I'll call it semiconductors, whatever the components are that makes up the LED board. So meanwhile, what we're doing is we're taking a proactive approach and coming back to the Municipal Services and City Council for a different brand that we're going to start to use, which has shelf availability fairly quickly. So we're working on some streetlights currently that are about a month and a half out on parts, and the next scheduled delivery of these parts is for the 21st. So I just want to let everyone know that. But keep calling them in, please, so we're keeping track of them. And again, that's something we're being proactive on.
Thank you, Dan. Mary?
Quick question, Dan, if it does not take place at the municipal services meeting on October 23rd, what would be the next municipal services meeting?
It will be probably pushed to November unless the developer requests a special meeting. Again, we'll let everyone know. I don't know what their timing is on this. But nonetheless, we accommodate all developments that come into town with timely meetings.
Thanks.
Okay, nothing else. That takes us to our mayor's report. As many of you probably surmise, we're entering that time of year where we're going to go looking for a citizen of the year. And if you read my mayor's message last Thursday, you'll see that we gave an introduction to the process for citizen of the year. And tonight, we have the pleasure of having our three previous members, Carol Mellors, Linda Borowiak, and Bonnie Kucera, be reappointed. And we have the Johnson & Johnson team on the other side of the room. Lana Johnson and Tracy Johnson will be new members of that committee. So I ask for your advice and consent on the reappointment of members to the Citizen of the Year Committee, Linda Borowiak, Bonnie Kucera, and Carol Mellors. Motion to approve, Mary Sullivan, seconded by Tom Belzak. Any question, any comments? If none, the roll.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
7 ayes.
The appointment's been approved. Next is consideration of a motion to approve the appointment of Tracy Thompson Johnson and Lana Johnson to the Citizen of the Year Committee. Moved by Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Belzak. Questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Can I have all 5 of you come forward to be sworn in?
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Citizen of the Year Committee according to the best of my ability. Okay. New ladies. Tracy, I need you to sign that card, and then this
You
one is
reckon the
yours.
police on it? I love your necklace. Look at
And-
you, some fashionista.
Could I have you sign this card?
Oh, you got a pen?
Oh, okay. And then, here we go, we've got Carol,
Congratulations.
and, oh wait, here, you take this one then.
Tracy,
Linda?
You
No,
said
this
them.
is mine. And, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Good luck.
Bonnie, did you want to say something at the microphone? I know I wrote about it last week, but do you want to say something about it tonight?
Bonnie, pull the microphone stem down.
I actually wrote something. First, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the committee for entrusting us in selecting one of the city's most honored awards, more than 50 years in the making, the Citizen of the Year for 2024. This award is based on diversity of activities, degree of involvement in the community, length of service, and impact to the city. Please remember that the committee does not choose the person, but selects and reviews from the nominations received by families, friends, and residents who believe they know someone who deserves this honor. Without the nominations, the committee is at a standstill. The nomination form can be found on the city website starting November 1st. You can complete it on the website and submit it from there, or you can print it out and use it as a template to write or type your information in. You can drop it off at City Hall then, or mail it to the attention of the Citizen of the Year Committee, confidential, and it won't be opened until we close the nominations on January 2nd. Please remember, the more information we get, the better choices we have to make the committee. Although the Citizen of the Year will be the honoree featured at this time, at the mayor's suggestion, we will be placing a spotlight on the honorees from the Darien Lions Club, the Darien Women's Club, the Darien Rotary Club, the Darien Chamber of Commerce. This event will be renamed Darien Honoree Celebration. The event will take place on Friday, March 8th at Alpine Banquets, starting at 6 p.m. with the dinner at 7. Included is a family-style dinner, open bar, dancing, music, and most of all, celebrating our honorees with the goodness they have brought and given to the city. The cost is $52 a person. And we hope to see many nominations along with your attendance at the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie, and thank you to the committee for all their hard work in the past. We really look forward to having a great celebration this year, and believe me, all your hard work is truly appreciated, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. That takes us to our next item, consideration of a motion for the reappointment of Leslie Sweeney, Tracy Thompson Johnson, and Steve Wernicke to the Holiday Home Decorating Committee. And Leslie's not here tonight, neither is Steve. So I'd ask for a motion to approve those appointments. Alderman Stompanato, second by Alderman Belzak. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Tracy, now you got to come forward again. I got sworn in again.
Getting my steps in tonight.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Tracy Thompson Johnson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that
States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
Holiday Home Decorating Committee
Holiday Home Decorating
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. And you get another card.
Thanks again, Tracy.
And I believe we'll be putting something out on Direct Connect regarding the holiday decorating process. So thank you, Tracy. And when we see Leslie and we see
Early
Steve,
this year.
we'll get them in here as well. Thank you very much. All right, takes us to City Clerk's report. We have the 2024 vehicle sticker, Joanne.
This year, the Rotary Club of Darien has requested to be have the honor of designing the 24 vehicle sticker because they will be celebrating their 50th anniversary. And so the Darien Club of Rotary will be the honoree for the 24 sticker for this upcoming year.
Thank you, Joanne. City Administrator's report, Brian.
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Department head information and questions. We have a Police Department monthly report. Deputy Chief Norton.
Yes, sir. Chief Thomas is away today. He's at the at the International Association of Chiefs of Police in San Diego, so he asked me to be here in his stead. I'll do my best to answer your questions. We'll go through this a little at a time. If you have questions, please let me know, or we can wait till the end either way. First thing I have for you folks is Chief Thomas wanted to talk about the types of crimes. I think it's pretty common nomenclature if somebody will say that I'm robbed or I've been burglarized, things of that. He wanted me to go through and define clearly for everyone what those are, because there are some nuances that I think people just say certain things and they don't really know what the context it is behind it. So some just basic definitions, and everything's in the report here. I'm just going to try to summarize some things. A robbery is a theft from a person with a threat of force or actual force. It's not just coming up to somebody and grabbing something or going to Walmart and stealing something. That's a theft. A burglary, it occurs when an offender enters a building or a vehicle without consent to commit a theft or another felony. The entry doesn't have to be forced necessarily, but it's still, they're basically going into a dwelling to commit a felony. A battery, and this is one that seems to get a little confused on TV. People often say, oh, I'm assaulted. I think in other states it's probably a little bit different. In our state, a battery is an actual physical contact with somebody, assaulting, provoking nature, whereas the assault is the ability for someone to assault you is, I'm going to raise my fist, I'm going to pretend like I'm going to hit you, but I have not yet do that. And one of the more common ones we're seeing as of late is threats. People will talk about they were threatened over the phone, or they were threatened over a email or on social media. They have to be able to perform that threat. It's just not, it's not to where the law is at this point in time. It's not to completion. So it might be harassment, it might be something we can look into further, but it's not necessarily a specific threat. So some of the community events we have taken place, we had Coffee of the Cop on October 4th from 7 till 9. It was held at McDonald's at 809 Plainfield Road. McDonald's has been fantastic with us for years. They come in there, they provide the coffee, they provide us the venue. So I want to say thank you to them first and foremost. They've been fantastic. I believe, and unfortunately I wasn't able to make this event, there was a number of people that were there. It gives us the opportunity as police officers to sit down and talk with residents or whomever's even willing to come in and have a chat with us about problems they might be having, or at least kind of look for behind the per se the armor, if you will. Just know that we're regular people and we sit down and we have conversations just like everyone else, and it's a nice way to break bread, if you will. In my notes here, it says there were 5 members of the public that visited the event, which is pretty decent. It's pretty typical for us. Another event that we had take place already was the Indian Prairie Library. It was also on the 4th of October. The detectives put on a nice presentation about frauds and scams, things of that nature, just for people to keep an eye out for. I'm told that Detective Jen Downs did a fantastic job putting that PowerPoint together, and we had about 4 people in attendance there. Future event for the Indian Prairie Library is November 1st at 10 a.m. The topic will be holiday shopping tips, things to pay attention to while you're shopping online, in person, parking, driving, things of that nature. Just some very basic tips. That's going to be held at the, and I'm going to do my best, I think it's the Keshav Shangji meeting room. It's on the 2nd floor of the library. There are 2 ways to attend that. You can register online through the library, or if you're welcome to walk in. There's no, I think it's up to 100 people is what the room fits. So we've averaged about 4, so there's plenty of room if you want to show up.
Yeah, and you, just one thing, you were out, your staff was also at the Darien Woodridge Fire Department open house too on October 7th.
You know, I'll be honest with you, I did not know that until you told me that.
Yeah, staff did, and they did a great job with the police dog, Dave with the police dog.
Back so?
Did a great program. It was
Thank you.
well received.
Thank you. The next topic I have on here is frauds and scams. This was the topic that was discussed at the Indian Prairie Library on October 4th. It's a significantly growing issue. U.S. Office of Consumer Affairs estimated that $100 billion is lost per year due to fraud, and most of the time seniors are amongst the most commonly targeted. If you look at this summary on page 3, where it says person and crime property summary, info on fraud, it's code 26. It gives you a breakdown on what's taking place in DuPage County and specifically Darien. So the first number I have for you is year to date in Darien, we've had 120, and that's through September 30th. Full year is going to be 120. And, you know, I think actually my notes are a little messed up in here, folks. I'm sorry. So I'm going to go to the page myself, page 3. I try to get it all in here succinct, and I obviously didn't do that well. 26. So, no, I do have it correct. Yeah. Year to date for 100, we have 120 for year to date in 2023. Year to date for 2022, we have 120. Year to date from 2021, we have 290. So, we have less coming through, whereas DuPage County as a whole, which does not include Aurora, Naperville, or Bartlett, because they don't use the same reporting system that we do. So that's where we extract our information. For 2023, year to date is 3,065. Full year for 2022 is 3,866. 2021 was 6,230. Oh. So it appears to be going down, but it's still something to be cognizant. I think people are starting to pay attention a little bit more to it and being aware of it, which certainly helps. A few of the common types of scams: telemarketing, home repair fraud, sweepstakes prizes, contests, financial exploitation, junk mail, and unwanted phone calls. There is a website that the chief attached to the packet here. It's to the Attorney General's office. It gives you a lot more information specific to those areas of concern, but I can answer any questions on it if anybody has anything. Okay. For a few additional statistics, Chief Thomas wanted me to break down a few extra things. And I need to remind everyone that we changed basically our ruler this past year. We went from UCR, which is Unified Crime Reporting, to NIBRS, which is National Incident-Based Reporting System. It's basically using standard and metric. It still tells the same tale, but we're using a different measuring stick. So the numbers are a little bit different from years gone by, and that's why there could be a greater variance. So one thing that I wanted to show in particular is for theft. From the year to date, our thefts are at 94 for this year. Last year, they were at 176, so that is definitely a drop in numbers. The next portion I'd like to look at is motor vehicle thefts. Our motor vehicle thefts are in fact up. We had 11 year to date last year, and this year we have 6. Some of that includes, at this point, people taking their vehicles without owner's consent, which is something that was not compiled for UCR in years past, where it is in NIBRS. So that's a little bit of the influx. It doesn't seem like there's a huge influx of issues there. So overall, for Group B offenses, halfway down the page on UCR and NIBRS, domestic disputes are a number that we no longer use, a code that we don't use. It's been removed from NIBRS from UCR. We did have 100 for year-to-date last year. We only have 5 this year, so that's a dramatic change, but that's one example of where we're using a different ruler, and it really just throws the numbers off a bit. So again, not trying to hide anything from anybody, but it's a 90% drop that when I look at that, what have we done differently? And it really is just, we're measuring different at this point. Calls for service in general were up a little bit from about 7.8%. In the past, it's been in decline, but a lot of it really is what when we receive a 911 call or even a walk-in, things of that nature. So it's going to fluctuate from time to time. Our crash summary here is we're down about 3.5% overall for year to date. Traffic enforcement summary, DUI arrests are up about 32%. It's more of a proactive approach. We obviously are looking for things like that and some type of indicia of impaired driving. I can't tell you exactly what has taken place other than we're out there looking for impaired drivers. So for our category heading all the way in warnings and citations, we're down about 12.5%. The number of stops for speed are up, and stop sign signal stops are up as well. So we're at about 30% in addition. One thing that Alderman Gustafson asked about at the police committee meeting this afternoon or this evening was when and how do we know what citizens are complaining, or we call it a complaint, if you will. We utilize a directed patrol. So if someone calls the police department, says there's speeders down my street, or if there's somebody not paying attention to the stop sign, or if there's a parking complaint that's routine, what we do is we internalize that. We're looking for as much specific information as you can provide us. So if you can give us it's rush hour in the evenings, if it only happens on Mondays and Tuesdays, or if it's maybe just rush hour Monday through Friday, or however it goes, the more specific information you can give us, what we do is we deploy that out to the officers. We'll let the officers know that we're going to do this for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it might be, and those officers will log what they're doing. So at the end of the packet, there's a citizen concern summary where it shows you how many times we sat at a particular location, how many minutes, how many stops we made, how many warnings were written, things of that nature. So we do pay attention to it. We don't push that out to everyone. We just simply put it in the report right here. And every time someone makes a complaint of some type saying, hey, there's a concern, we definitely deploy this. I know that Public Works also helps with us with the traffic counters and paying attention to that type of stuff, which is data we also pull. And we also use the, Dan, I believe it's All Traffic Solutions, the radar that's on the speed signs and whatnot. We get that data as well, and we try to analyze that and pay attention to be proactive, not just wait for everybody to tell us where the problems are, but it's just a way for us to pay attention a little closer. So I believe that is everything I had to summary. If anybody has any questions on anything, I'll do my best to answer questions.
I believe this will be available on our website, Brian.
Well, it's available now as part of the packet that's on the website. So
correct.
I don't remember if we had a direct link on our Direct Connect, but it certainly is available for anybody that wants to see it. Yes.
And this is a fairly new report that was old, and since we transferred from UCR in our new reporting system, we've been able to get these numbers back out. So it's something, maybe, is it 2 months old again? Maybe 3? I'm not sure how many times Chief Thomas has put this together, or maybe he's just pulled me in and helped me start working on this too. That's a possibility. So
2 months now, I think back.
is it okay? So I would expect to see this on a regular basis.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good,
Any
thank you.
questions?
Thank you.
Good info.
Thank you very much. All right. All right, that takes us to,
Mr. Grombeck.
Dan.
our, our, Dan, any questions for Dan? I'm sorry, Dan.
No, I wasn't offended. I was impressed by Jason's report.
I had to go back to my agenda. I was on the police report.
I understand. Police department is more important than public works.
Here we go. Get the violins out.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
You want to talk about the big hole on the corner of Cass?
Yeah.
Concrete's coming in. We have concrete scheduled tentatively for tomorrow, so we're hoping as construction starts, real construction
Hey,
begins tomorrow. So, all things aside, no rain. We should have something. I'll have something to report back to the city council next week or 2 weeks.
Do we have any idea how the light at 67th and Clarendon Hills Road is working out? Any complaints, any questions coming from residents?
No information is good news at this point. So, and I think Jason and I were just speaking about it earlier, and there's been no issues at all. So, when we activated it, it was really a godsend.
Thank you. Okay.
Can I say something?
Mary?
Congratulations on that. And I do think it was a good idea that you guys put up the signs, like announcing its arrival, because obviously people have gotten so used to it not being there, and then it was there, but it wasn't working, that those flashing signs saying coming soon and the date, I think was a really wise idea to prepare people, to have it on and
Yeah, we
be aware.
We want to take all opportunities to make sure everything was at its optimal level for safety.
All right, our treasurer's report, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor. This evening, I'm requesting council's approval of warrant number 232412 in the amount of $565,004.48 from the listed funds. Payroll for the period ended October 5th in the amount of $318,073.29 for a total to be approved of $883,077.77.
We have a motion to approve. Alderman Legansky, seconded by Alderman Kenny. Questions or comments regarding the warrant? If none, the roll.
Legansky.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Gustafson.
aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Warrant's been approved. Mike, the monthly report.
Revenue expenditure report for the 5 months ended September 30th reflects general fund year-to-date revenue $9,431,427, expenses of $7,639,943, current balance $5,167,002. Water fund year-to-date revenue $2,629,618, expenses of $2,873,746, current balance $3,350,131. Motor fuel tax fund, year-to-date revenue $429,215, expenses of $423,743, current balance $1,479,583. Water depreciation fund, year-to-date revenue $8,957, expenses $5,934, current balance $616,261. And capital improvement fund, year-to-date revenue $432,501, expenses of $2,884,780, current balance $17,316,058.
Thank you, Mike. It takes us to standing committee reports. Do any of the chairmen have reports for the council? Alderman Belzak.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next Municipal Services Committee meeting will be a week from today on Monday, October the 23rd, and will be at 6 p.m. in council chambers.
Thank you. Alderwoman Sullivan.
Thank you, Mayor. The next Administrative Finance Committee will be on Monday, November 6th at 6 p.m. in the conference room upstairs.
Thank you. Alderman Kenny.
Thank you. This evening, the Police Committee passed the minutes for August 21st, 2023's meeting. Our next meeting is slated for November 20th, 2023, 6 p.m. in the police training room, pending agenda items.
Thank you very much. Takes us to questions and comments, agenda related. This is for our audience if they have any questions about anything on our agenda. If not, it takes us to old business. There being none, we go to a consent agenda. There being nothing on the consent agenda, we go to new business. Item A, consideration of a motion to approve the tax levy determination for general and special purposes for fiscal year 2023 2024. Motion to approve. Alderwoman Sullivan, seconded by Alderman Shower. Brian, could you just go through briefly and explain what this means for our residents and for the city?
Yeah, I'll start probably at the end. What the city receives annually is called, in our property tax, is called the extension. So we get X amount of dollars last year, and as we've done for the past 12 or 14 years, that's all we request in the following year. So whatever the extension is what the tax levy request is for the following year, which would keep the property tax bills, at least for the city's portion, at the same level it was last year. This year is a little different, only because the police pension fund now has taken up all of the property tax levy and some. So in order to maintain that property tax levy at last year's extension, the city would also be budgeting approximately $83,000 to go towards that pension expense, and that would be from our general fund revenues.
So there's no increase in the levy, and there hasn't been an increase in the levy for the last 14
or so years, correct.
Okay. Anything the aldermen want to add? Mary?
We did discuss this at length at Administrative Finance Committee last time and, support the recommendation by staff to keep the levy the same and not increase it now that we have the real estate tax is now not meeting the same amount as the police pension. And clearly, moving forward, that gap is going to only get wider in our predicament.
We have, Treasurer Corrin asked Jason Franken from Foster and Foster to prepare an additional report at my request, and that report is what would happen if the Kifowitz bill, which is in the state legislature, moves all Tier 2 to Tier 1. And there would be a financial cost to the city because of that. In fact, I think a number of our officers were hired after 2010, and that's the cutoff. So Jason's going to prepare that report, and that's something we're going to share with other municipalities, and other municipalities are going to have their actuaries work on that same report. I had a meeting Friday with State Senator Ventura, and I didn't know when I was talking to her, but I was talking to her and I was telling her how I was opposed to the Kifowitz bill that would do that. And she looked at me, she said, well, I'm working with Representative Kifowitz on the Senate side to get that bill passed. And so we had an interesting conversation from that point on. But I was adamant in telling her how destructive it could be for municipalities if that bill did go through. And she indicated to me they don't want to move everybody from Tier 2 to Tier 1. They want to make changes to Tier 2 that they think make it more equitable. And I think the safe haven provision was something that they were concerned about. So when you talk about our being $86,000 over our real estate taxes, that number, that ramp is going to go up even more. And if this bill goes through, that would be even more money that would the city would have to find in order to pay that.
And what kind of traction is the bill getting? What are you hearing? What is DuPage mayors and managers hearing in Illinois Municipal League?
The bill is very popular with a certain segment. The unions are pushing it, of course. It won't come up, might not even come up. It's not going to come up in the veto session. It might come up in the spring session.
It will.
As you know, we're going to go down earlier. We're going to go down the end of February, and every municipality, we want to have one of those charts like we did last year for LGDF, where we showed what it meant in terms of loss to the city of Darien. We want to be able to put something like that together. We were told by representatives on Friday, I had several of them tell me, if you want to fight the bill, then you got to show us what it's going to cost you. And we don't want to just know what Darien, it's going to cost Darien. We want to know what's going to cost everybody. And so DMMC is working on compiling that information. And I said I'd be more than glad to turn ours in when we get it from Jason.
And it should be available. They said they're real busy in October. They said it should be available sometime within the next several weeks. So we'll obviously share that with you. And it's sort of a shame because in 2011, as part of overall pension reform, they came out with these tier 1 and tier 2, and now they've been chipping it away gradually. Part of the consolidation of the downstate pension funds back a few years ago, they already chipped away at part of it. This would just be further chipping and totally eroding everything that was done for a purpose to try and get these on sounder financial footing. But
So what is the purpose of the bill? I understand what the result they're trying to accomplish is, but why?
There is a feeling that there was some concern that the Tier 2 didn't meet the safe haven requirement.
But it did in 2011 and it doesn't now? I mean, I'm confused as to what has changed in the last, 13, 12 years.
Well, the benefits are different. The retirement age.
I understand that.
But they were different in
Well,
2011 is what he's saying.
Yeah, I'm saying why, it seems like you're,
Senator Ventura
pulling
told me.
the chair out.
Negotiation.
Well, Senator Ventura told me one of their concerns, this was stated by her, was that we have police officers. We can't recruit people in the field of police work because the retirement age now has been pushed further. Teachers, she said, aren't entering the profession because now they have to be 65 years old to be able to retire. So she was utilizing that as an argument for making changes. And she insisted that they weren't looking to change all Tier 2 to Tier 1. Yet if you read the bill, that's exactly what the bill says, is that they're going to move Tier 2 to Tier 1. And so I told her, I said, then you better clarify what you're looking for, because right now, every municipality that I work with is telling me they are afraid of the cost that they're going to have to incur. You better be very specific. And if you want to make changes, and there's changes that need to be made to Tier 2, then make them. But don't, right now, I said, the bill says it's going to move this to this. And she said, well, that's not what's going to happen. And I didn't want to argue with her because we were having coffee and we were talking nice, but she knows that we're going to come down there in February and we're going to fight this. We are. Any other questions? I know I just expounded on that for a while, but I think you need to be brought up to date on that. It's something I think all of you
very
need to know.
important.
I could almost see a compromise. They're also talking about extending the funding, full funding. Right now, it's shooting for 2040.
To 50.
They're talking about extending that to 2050. I could almost see a trade-off because I think these numbers, when we get them from the actuary, are going to be fairly substantial and will scare a lot of municipalities and saying, hey, right now, 100% of our real estate taxes are going into the pension fund. That's only going to aggravate it even further. So I could see the offset being, okay, well, let's just kick the can down the road a little farther, which isn't solving the problem. It's just making the number smaller so you can accommodate the bigger number for moving the tiers.
That's the problem with pension reform.
Well, and I don't want anybody to misjudge what I'm saying. I think our officers deserve a great pension. I think they deserve what we what we give them in terms of salaries. I mean, we have a great police force here in Darien. I think they well deserve what they get. But the viability of the program will suffer if this legislation goes through. And it's not going to just impact the city, it's going to impact them as well. So my hope is that we're all on board. All the municipalities are on board come spring, if it does indeed come up in the spring. As I get more information, I'll share it with you. Okay.
Yes, I mean, no progress. I mean, I've been treasurer now for over 16 years, and we've been funding it at 100% over those 16 years, and we've made absolutely no progress in terms of advancing our funding. We're currently
We actually have gone back.
Right.
It's gone back and
Past year
forth
we
a
went
little bit,
back
but yeah,
half
this year it
percent.
actually went down
Yeah.
a little bit. So.
About 0.5%, yeah.
So in spite of the fact we're only required to do it at 90%, we've been doing it at 100% and still not making any headway in that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Anything else? All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. The vote.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Stompanato,
Aye.
Legansky,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
7 ayes.
The item has been approved. Questions, comments, and announcements. I just wanted to mention a couple things. This weekend, I had an opportunity to attend several events. The Garden Club held their pollinator protector celebration. They received an award. for the excellent work they do. It was at the library. It was beautifully done. This is really a dynamic group, and I had a great opportunity meeting a lot of these people. Saturday, I attended the Ellis Fitch Gallagher dedication. There's a pedestrian bridge that now crosses the highway, and it was dedicated to Alice Gallagher, who was the president of Western Springs. Alice was on a director of the Illinois Tollway Authority, and Alice had an aneurysm in January. She was working out at a health club, and her aneurysm burst, and we lost her. She was a wonderful lady. I had a chance to work with her for about a year, and so I wanted to be part of the event, and it was a beautiful dedication. And then last night, yours truly, even though he's not a chili lover, attended the Troop 55 chili cook-off, and I have to say I made it through the event, and so far I've made it through the day today following the event. Really a nice activity. Troop 55 has a lot of Darien residents in it, even though we met in Downers Grove. There are a number of Darien boys and girls who are part of Troop 55. So I had a busy weekend, but an enjoyable weekend. And I want to thank the Lions Club because we had a lot of Lions Club members who went out on the streets and collected money. They brought their money in, and a lot of it was wet, and they were wet. And hopefully the Lions Club will do well in terms of their collection. So that's what I have to offer. Does anybody else want to offer anything else? If none, a motion to adjourn. Alderman Saponato, seconded by Alderman Kenny. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.